Hey, this is Will, and in this video I have another anime figure unboxing for you guys. Here I have Ushio Kofune from the anime Summertime Rendering. This is the newly released Figuarts Zero figure, so I'll be unboxing this and give you guys a quick little review on it. Plus I have a order from AmiAmi back here with a couple of pre-owned figures that I'll also be going over. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So here we have the Ushio figure, and we paid 8,800 yen for this, so about $60 at the time of this video, plus another $20 for the shipping from Japan, so about $80 total. Now, if you are new to Figuarts Zero, these aren't scaled figures, but they're not quite prize figures either in my experience. They've usually been better quality than prize figures and almost kind of pretty good quality when compared to some, I'll say, cheaper scale figures. So it kind of sits in between a scale and a prize figure. So I do have 4 other Figuarts Zero figures in my collection, which I'll be comparing this Ushio to. The good thing about these Figuarts Zero figures is that they are simple to unbox. There's nothing that you got to put together. As soon as you take out the box, it's ready to be displayed. Hey guys, this is Editing Will here, and this is a little postcard that I completely overlooked when unboxing the figure. Just a nice little piece of art that the figure is based on, and another little collectible for you Ushio fans out there. Now, the first thing that we noticed when we got her out of her packaging was that she felt a little bit on the small side. In fact, we kind of noticed that while she was still in her box, just based on the box size, she just felt a little bit small. So what we did was we grabbed Itadori and a Rengoku, both Figuarts Zero figures that we just unboxed a couple months ago, and we just kind of put them all side by side to see how they compared. Now, when comparing the 3 figures side by side, it's actually kind of hard to really tell if they're, different scales or whatnot, just based on their poses, because they're all pretty unique. But really looking at it, I do think Ushio maybe just ever so slightly smaller than the other 2. And I feel like Rengoku is probably just a little bit bigger than, say, Itadori himself. So overall, I don't think it's as night and day difference as I was originally thinking in my head when I first took her out the box. But it is, interesting to see that she is a slightly smaller figure, but also much more expensive. But another thing that I did notice when looking at this very closely was that her hair. She has some bumps on the very top of her head that is noticeable when you look at it up close, not so noticeable when you kind of hold it away from you, maybe when you have it on display and whatnot. But either way, seeing those bumps on such a pricey figure is definitely another disappointment that we have, because with the cheaper Figuarts Zero figures that we got, we didn't have any quality issues that we can actually point out. And another thing that I did notice when looking at this figure very closely is the paint job of her bathing suit. When you look at her, like, the chest area, the front of her and her abdomen, her side, it just looks very prize figure-ish, and it doesn't look like it was very well done. And this probably isn't really going to be a big deal because you're really not going to be able to see that side of her when she's on display. She is kind of pointing down, so maybe not a big deal, but again, I would have liked to see, just a better, quality check when it comes to a figure of this cost. So looking at her on display right now, she's a little bit further than arm's length away from me, and I really can't make out any of these imperfections that I mentioned. So that bumpy hair, I can't really see the paint job on her bathing suit in good enough detail to really complain about it from this distance. But just knowing it's there, and I paid so much for this figure compared to my other Figuarts Zero figures, again, disappointment, that's the key word when it comes to this figure. And then looking at the base, the water effect itself, I think that looks pretty good. I really do like the overall pose of the figure and how this wave is kind of collapsing over her. I absolutely love that aspect of it. So that's pretty cool. And the little pendants that are throughout the wave, if you've seen the anime, you'll definitely recognize most of them. You have the watch, you have that seashell pendant, you have the nail gun, this book that's on the top of the wave. I believe that's a signed copy of one of Ryunosuke's books to Shinpei. I believe that's what it says. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys can read that Japanese, but I'm fairly like 85-90% sure that's what it says. But that's a pretty cool little feature. And then you do have her cell phone, which I thought was kind of not that important, but it's whatever. I'm not going to complain about it, but I really do like the overall look of this figure. It's very dynamic, and I love dynamic figures in my collection. So overall, you know, there are some imperfections with this figure. Is it worth that $80 that I paid? I mean, obviously not, especially when you consider that one, it's smaller than my other Figuarts Zero figures, and the quality is not as good in my opinion. But I would say it is a very good looking figure if you want to have it on display, and if you're a big Ushio fan, you know, you should probably go for it. There is another Good Smile figure that's going to be coming out. That's going to be a scale figure. We don't know what it looks like yet, so I'm waiting to see what that looks like. And we do have a Nindo that's supposed to be coming out, and I believe in January 2023. So we do have that on pre-order as well. But this figure here, it's kind of, if you really like Ushio, get it. If you're just kind of on the fence about her, don't really care about her, maybe wait to see what the pre-owned market is going to look like. I imagine it's going to be cheaper than what we see here on the actual listing price of this figure. Now moving on to my pre-owned figures that I got in this AmiAmi haul, and I'm not going to do a complete unboxing for this because these are older figures and you guys have probably seen them already. But the first one is going to be Shinobu Kocho from Demon Slayer. This is the 1/8 scale, I believe, from Kotobukiya. And I absolutely love Shinobu. She is definitely top 3 Hashira for me in the Demon Slayer anime. She's a complete badass, and I cannot wait to see more of her being animated. But I had to get this figure. I was trying to decide between a few different ones. There's one from Aniplex, and I believe one from Alter as well. And the reason that I got this one is because of that bonus face. So I did get the bonus face, as you guys can see, with her eyes kind of squinted, and that's it for me. You know, I gotta have that face. If you were to ask me, that just screams Shinobu in my opinion. So definitely happy I got that. It cost me about 13,980 yen. I'm not sure what the conversion is on that, but that's how much it cost me with the bonus face, and it was rated A from AmiAmi. Now, although it was rated A, I did find, I guess maybe it's an issue. I don't know. You guys let me know if you have bought this brand new, but the part of the base that you actually had to put together really doesn't go in there like too tightly, and it just feels very loose. Not a huge deal because when I have her on display, it's no problem, but I just worry that it's just gonna fall off one day, but we'll see. Maybe I can just kind of put some putty down there just to kind of keep it in place a little bit better. But other than that, I really do love the figure. It is a big figure for a 1/8 scale, at least according to AmiAmi, it's 1/8 scale. This is a big girl. I thought she was actually 1/7 scale looking at her, and she's very heavy, but I really do like the pose. I love how it's kind of flowing there. Paint jobs, you know, it's okay. It's not like the best paint job like in her actual uniform here. It's okay, but definitely love the overall aesthetic of the figure itself. So definitely a nice pickup for me. The next figure that I have here is from an older anime that I just happened to finish watching for the first time. I'm actually a little bit ashamed about that because this is a pretty popular anime and I absolutely loved it. I'm going to watch it again very soon. It's going to be Shiki Ryugai from Kar no Kyokai, Guardian of Sinners, and this is the 1/8 scale Kotobukiya. Now, like I said, I really did enjoy this movie, and I'm going to go back and rewatch it again because it was definitely a lot to take in. But I do know that I love Shiki's character and her personal struggle and all that she went through. It was just a very well done movie. And this figure here, you know, I was really trying to decide which Shiki figure I wanted to have in my collection. Of course, I want to really get that figure from Aniplex with her in her red leather jacket, but it's just hard finding that at a reasonable price, and I'm not sure how much I'm willing to really spend on Shiki. I love her, but I'm not willing to spend like $300-400 for her, so I had to settle for this one. I got her for, I believe it was about 8,500 yen on AmiAmi, and it was rated A rating. And I think this figure looks really good. I really do like her actual outfit. It's just the attention to detail that they put in this painting is very well done around her sash. I mean, the bow on her back's very well done. Just all the little attention detail in her like sleeves and the little flowers that you can just barely pick out under the light. It's just that a little attention detail that I really do like this figure for. Now, one thing I don't like about this figure is going to be her hair. I'm not sure why they made her hair like kind of a brownish color. I mean, it's a good amount of detail in it, of course, but the actual color of it, Not a huge fan of it, but it wasn't really a deal breaker for me. And then you have her actual katana, and I really do like the attention of detail there. I remember watching, I think it was like on YouTube, just a documentary on Japanese katanas and how they're made. So I can definitely appreciate the, I believe it's called the hamon, which is kind of like that, the very edge of the blade, and it's that pattern that you see. And that pattern was used by Japanese sword makers to kind of act as like their signature or their own kind of how you would want to, add your own style to the blade essentially. So I really do appreciate that little bit of detail that they added to this blade, because I don't think they had that in the Good Smile version either. So definitely appreciate that. The base itself is pretty simple. You got, I guess, just some cherry blossom petals on the ground or something. She actually comes attached to the actual base itself, so you can't remove her if you wanted to. But yeah, I like the base. It's good enough for me, and it doesn't take up that much space, so I definitely appreciate that. But overall, I'm definitely really feeling this figure. If I can get the Aniplex one with her in that red jacket for, say, like 200 bucks, I'll definitely jump on it. I'm not gonna hold my breath for that though, because that's probably never gonna happen. But if someone wants to give me that figure or give me a nice discount on it that's watching this video, hit me up on my figure collection. Links down in the comments below. Now, if you want to check out my unboxing video of my Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer Figuarts Zero figures, definitely check out this video over here. If you want to check out my collection, how it's grown, check out this playlist over here. Be sure to smash that like button if you enjoyed this video. I would greatly appreciate it, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.